The sun was already high when people first noticed the girl standing at the crowded bus stop, her thin shoulders tense, her eyes wide with fear as she lifted her hands and signed desperately toward a stranger. Her fingers moved fast, almost frantic, and even those who did not understand sign language could read the panic written across her face. She was saying that he would not stop following her. The man she pointed to froze, shock spreading across his face as whispers rippled through the street like a sudden gust of wind. In that bright daytime moment, before anyone knew the truth, judgment arrived faster than compassion. Before the story continues, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humanity, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Grandma's Book. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. Her name was Alara Finch, and she had learned long ago that silence could be louder than screams. Born deaf into a world that rarely slowed down, Alara grew up navigating life through expressions, gestures, and a deep awareness of everything unsaid. Since her mother's passing 2 years earlier, poverty had wrapped itself tightly around her life. Each morning, under the full light of day, she walked the same route to the bakery where she worked, counting her steps, watching shadows, memorizing faces. Safety, for her, was something fragile, easily shattered by one wrong glance. That morning felt different from the start. The sky was clear, children laughed somewhere nearby, and vendors shouted prices she could not hear but recognized by habit. Halfway through her walk, she noticed the man. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with tired eyes and a worn jacket. At first, she assumed coincidence. People shared streets. But then he turned when she turned, slowed when she slowed. Her heart began to pound, the vibration echoing through her chest like thunder she could feel but not hear. Alara's past taught her to trust instincts. Too many times, strangers had taken advantage of her silence, assuming it made her weak. She picked up her pace, daylight glaring off shop windows as fear tightened its grip. The man stayed behind her, never close enough to touch, never far enough to disappear. When she reached the bus stop, crowded and exposed, panic spilled over. She signed to anyone who would look, her hands shaking as she pointed at him. "He will not stop following me." Those who understood sign language gasped. Those who did not still understood the accusation. The man's name was Rowan Hale, and in that instant, his life cracked open under the weight of strangers' stares. Rowan was a single father, raising his 6-year-old son after his wife died unexpectedly. Every morning, after dropping his son at school, he walked the same route to the construction site where he worked. That morning, he noticed Alara struggling with a broken strap on her bag. He noticed the way her eyes darted, the way fear lingered around her like a shadow. Something inside him, shaped by loss and responsibility, would not let him ignore it. Rowan kept his distance because he did not want to frighten her. He followed because he had seen another man earlier watching her too closely, slipping into doorways and lingering near corners. Rowan had stepped between them once, using his size as a silent warning. The other man vanished, but Rowan stayed alert, making sure Alara reached a safe, crowded place. He never imagined that his silent vigilance would turn him into a suspect. At the bus stop, people surrounded Alara protectively, while others confronted Rowan with angry gestures and raised voices he could hear all too clearly. He lifted his hands, not in defense, but in confusion and shame. Under the harsh daylight, memories of being judged as a struggling single dad, of being seen as less or dangerous because he looked rough and tired, flooded back. Everything changed when a small boy ran toward Rowan, his backpack bouncing, his face bright with relief. The child wrapped his arms around Rowan's leg, looking up at the crowd with innocent curiosity. The tension shifted. A woman who knew sign language asked Alara gently to explain more. Through slower, clearer signs, Alara shared what she felt and what she feared. Then another vendor stepped forward, pointing down the street, gesturing about a man who had been lurking earlier. Security footage from a nearby shop was pulled up on a phone, showing Rowan standing between Alara and that stranger, his body angled protectively. The truth spread as quickly as the accusation had. Shame replaced anger. Alara's hands fell to her sides as realization washed over her, tears filling her eyes. Rowan's shoulders sagged, relief and exhaustion mixing in his chest. In the clear light of day, surrounded by people who finally saw the whole picture, something gentle happened. Alara stepped closer and signed slowly, deliberately, gratitude written in every movement. Rowan did not understand the language of her hands, but he understood the language of her eyes. From that day on, their paths crossed often, not as shadows of fear, but as familiar faces. Rowan learned basic sign language at night after his son fell asleep. Alara began to believe that not every following step meant danger. Sometimes, it meant protection. In a world quick to assume the worst, two broken lives reminded an entire street that kindness often walks quietly behind us, asking for nothing in return. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to engage with the video. Your likes, comments, and shares help spread messages of compassion and understanding to others who need them.